All right, guys, I'm here again. It's Thursday, and it's not too bad out here. All winter long, I was freezing my ass off yesterday, and today I'm out in the garage in the shade in a short sleeve shirt. This is really screwy weather. I can't wait for summer to get here, though. I got cold yesterday. All right, I'm here working on this big old ugly gray car here. It's a 25 Chrysler. All right, let me give you a look, see what we're doing. All right, you see I got the nose of this off here, and the reason I pulled the front off was it looked like somebody was growing potatoes in the radiator, so I wanted to flush the radiator. I did not want to pull the whole thing apart because it seemed like I was getting closer and closer to getting it finished, and now I'm backing up. But I was going to leave the fan belt alone because it almost looked like it would be okay. And once I got the radiator off of it, to clean it, I said, well, I got it off. I might as well take the fan belt off of it and get a new fan belt. And come to find out, in order to get the fan belt off of it, you've got to pull the water pump because it's just driven between the harmonic balancer and the water pump only. And you tighten up the pulley on a it's threaded, and it shrinks the pulley, which makes the belt ride further out on the pulley. And that's how you tighten the belt up. But if the radiator was still on here and you wanted to change that belt, you can't get the water pump off of it because of the radiator in the way. So you have to pull the radiator, and then you got to pull the water pump. So it's that's a hell of a thing to do, to change a belt. But that's what it looks like to me. It's the only thing I can see, because the water pump won't come off of the radiator on the car, and you can't get the belt off of the water pump because of how it's built, how it's made. You can't loosen anything enough to make the belt slide off of the pulleys. So there we are. So I'm going to put a new belt on it, and I went through the water pump and did the packing on it, which is all good stuff. It needed to be done. And I'm sort of glad that I did pull it apart, even though I was thinking I probably didn't want to, because of the hose, the metal pipe, I should say, which is right here. You can see it's full of holes, but it was dirty enough that I couldn't see them. You can see it's there and there and there. And this was just like that. And you couldn't see any of the holes. So, it was all greasy and dirty. But once I got it apart, I found the holes. So, it's a good thing. So, we're going to, as soon as the belt comes in, they said it's a really odd belt to find. We're going to go ahead and start putting this thing back together. You can't see it, but I got the radiator shell out here. And it's rinsed out. I got it pretty clean inside, so that's a good thing. So I get that. And the water pump is going to be good. And I tried dealing with this. Another means taking a tube and bending it and all that. I had a couple of tubes that I could find. It's 1.25 inches, and it's fairly thin wall. And I took one and I filled it full of sand and capped the ends and heated it up and tried to bend it, and it just kinked right away. So without a tube and bender or taking it someplace and having it fabricated to, realistic, real, I can't do anything with it. I mean, if I had to use this, I would fix this tube. I would probably take this tube and solder the holes up, is what I would probably do. If that's only if I had to use it. Solder it, clean the daylights out of the inside of it, and probably put a coat of lead on the outside of the pipe just to give it a little more meat, and then coat the inside of the pipe with gas tank sealer. And if you get it clean enough on the inside, and I don't think this ever get hot enough to affect the gas tank sealer. So, like I said, if I had to use this and I couldn't deal with it somewhere within somebody's lifetime, then that's what I would do. So there's always a way to fix something. And you can see the heater. That's the heater for this thing. The fan just blows hot air right up that snout there and goes down and wraps around the exhaust and comes in through the floor. So that's where we are. And in the scheme of things, and I just did a compression test on it. And I changed out the coil. I like these things don't have any compression, and they probably have trouble fouling spark plugs and everything else. So what I'm doing is I put a really hot coil in it, a 6-volt coil, but it's pretty hot. It's an aftermarket coil, which sort of looks like the original, and it's in a place where nobody's going to see it. But that'll bite through any of the junk this thing tries to burn, because everything is oily and crappy, and a good hot coil will burn through a little bit of oil a lot better than a stock coil will. And the coil that was on here, of course, was probably 60 years old. So that's an upgrade. So that's about all I'm going to do to it, other than I cleaned the plugs up, and I think I'm going to put some gas in this thing and just see if it'll run, just open like this in case I have to do something to it. Because it did a compression test on it, and it's got 75 pounds pretty much across the board. I got one cylinder that's down a little bit, but I have a feeling it's probably got some junk in behind one of the valves, because they were pretty crusty looking. So I am assuming that's what it is. It's got some junk on the seat. But I think once I start it, I think it might blow all that crap out of there, because it's pretty crusty in there. But I guess, what do you expect for a 100-year-old engine? And I took the starter apart. I don't know if I didn't show that, to clean it up. And, it's sort of strange because it's only held on with one bolt there. And, it comes off fairly easy. So you can change it on the side of the road if you got a big crescent wrench. And that's pretty cool. So that's pretty much where I am. I'm going to see if this unit will start and make a little noise or smoke or something. I guess that's where I am as far as the scheme of things. Yep. So I got my batteries all hooked up and switch in, and the push the button under there and it cranks over. I don't have this out yet, and this is what operates all the power in the car. I have to take that whole assembly out and see what I could do with it, because it's frozen up. Oh, but I guess that's really about it. Was hoping to start on the interior real soon, because it's going to be a nightmare and I want to get that over with. It's really going to be interesting to watch me try to do interior. So you guys need to leave me some comments on how I'm screwing things up. All right, guys. So until I start making a bunch of smoke in here, I'll show you that. I have no way of showing you what I'm doing, because I am holding the phone in my hand, and that's my main camera until I've been buying Cracker Jacks, but I haven't found a camera in them yet. But One of these days I will. So it's a one-handed thing. All right, so I'll see you all later. When I start making some smoke, I'll make another video. All right, guys, later.